All right, good morning. This is Max Level EDC, and we're going to continue our Q&A series today, starting with the giveaway from last video. So Matthew Curry won all the items that we talked about, and I'll be sending that along as soon as possible. Now let's go ahead and dive right into some of the questions that you guys had from that video. Starting with number one. What is your favorite Swiss Army knife? Actually, it would have been different had it been about a week ago, but I've been carrying this recently. Now this is a limited edition from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. This is called the Farmer X. So this is a 4-layer Alox 93 millimeter. It has saw, scissors, inline reamer. It's just a phenomenal tool. And I've been using it actually in conjunction with a Rovivon A5X that I have epoxied the clip to, and so this has become a dangler in my pocket. So this is like an all-in-one solution. Very, very cool. Probably my favorite one right now. Second place would have to go to the Victorinox Manager, because as a compact tool, I think it does so much. All right, question number two is, what items can be taken into places where knives are not allowed? Well, I mean, obviously a lot of things can be taken, but maybe you're thinking specifically something that can cut. Well, when it comes to TSA, there are some rules that allow you to take certain items that can cut. Safety cutters where your finger cannot penetrate in, theoretically, would go through TSA. But I'm going to tell you from personal experience that at least when it comes to flying, you should expect them to take absolutely everything that could have a blade on it. And that includes your Victorinox Jet Setter. It includes your Leatherman style PS. None of these have blades, but my experience with TSA is they literally don't care, and arguing with them isn't going to do you any good. Now, when it comes to, say, walking into a school or an area where blades are not allowed, you know, really it has a, you know, it depends on what you need. You can do with any of these things. And also I would add to this list a tool that I just started playing with and I don't have time yet to formally review. And that is the SOG Sync 1 Travel. So I was surprised to find that this is a really good tool. Now, not necessarily with its holder that allows you to make it into a belt loop, but it is a really, really neat little bladeless tool. But like I said, once again, likelihood is that TSA will take it anyway. Just how things are going right now. Better off to check things in a bag. What is the best sized fixed blade for EDC? This depends squarely on how you're planning on carrying the knife, because fixed blades are a little bit more difficult than a folding knife. Well, not a little bit, a lot more difficult. It depends, are you going to carry it scout on the outside of your belt? Are you going to kind of just dangle it off to left or the right? Or are you going to put it in a pocket? It's really up to you, and you have to determine that before you can figure out what size will work. Now, inside the pocket, I found that this sheath can easily carry something that is as big as 7.5, 8 inches. But that's not necessarily something that you may want to invest in. I think it's pretty easy to recommend something like the Azula. If you can't comfortably carry a 6.5-inch blade like this one, then you probably shouldn't carry a fixed blade at all. And what I like about this sheath is you can use it as a neck knife, which I don't recommend, but I like to set it up in such a way that it goes into the pocket like so, and then you can pull up the strap that's attached to a belt loop, and then pull it out of your pocket, and then pull it out from there. That's the way I prefer a small knife like this to be in the pocket like this, and then attached. This is an example with the lanyard that I have with about a 7-inch knife. This one is made by Alex Steingraber, and it is in Vanex. So length depends a lot on how you carry it. It depends on the kind of pants you're wearing. Generally speaking, the less real estate you have, the smaller the blade has to be. So start with the Azula, start with something that small. I know they're not available anymore, but I really, really am a big fan of the Pendleton Mini Hunter in CPM 3V. Yeah, you're going to probably want to stick with something under 7 inches though, for sure. What is my favorite implement on a multi-tool? Well, when I think multi-tool, I think plier based. And there has to be a pretty significant reason to want to carry a plier. A plier is definitely my favorite, and that is because nothing else can substitute for it, right? It multiplies your strength, and that's a powerful thing. I have had to use them many times to untie knots that are ridiculously tight. I've had to use them for things that require me to get into small places my fingers can't even get into. So yeah, the pliers by far. Second place is going to have to be the saw, because nothing really replaces that, and the diamond file. I really find that a diamond file can save the day, whether it's knocking down an edge so that something becomes comfortable on a metal tool or implement. Yeah, it's just an awesome thing. So those would be my top 3. So there's one question that I got a ton across multiple videos, and that is, what would be my ideal multi-tool? So here's the answer to that question. When I say ideal multi-tool, what I'm thinking is one that I can carry comfortably every day. So here are the stats that it would have to have. 5 ounce total weight, no more. It would have to have a minimal number of tools and no more than exactly what I need. 1 blade, 1 secondary long implement that can be changed out for other secondary long implements. 1 4mm bit driver with storage for 2 4mm bits. And that is it. That's all I want. I don't want anything else. The important thing here is that it's compact and light enough that there's no excuse not to carry it. Ideally, I would love it to be 4 ounces, but that probably won't happen. And this does not currently exist in the market, unfortunately. I would very much like to see it, but only time will tell if someone will ever make something like that. What is one thing most people don't carry? The answer is still a flashlight. I want to say this as many times as I can so people realize no matter what you do, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, a flashlight is always step 1. If you're not carrying a flashlight, yeah, I'm sorry. All the tools, everything else you have in your collection, if you are unable to perform the action necessary because you cannot see, you have a problem. You need a flashlight, period. And there are plenty of small ones that you could add to a keychain. There's no reason not to carry one. Please, 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 please carry a flashlight. What do you see as the future of multi-tools? Well, I would have loved to be optimistic about this, but I see a lot of good enough mentality from the big manufacturers. Outside of Victorinox, they're always quality. And that's something that I think could change, and I think a lot of it has to do with the consumer base deciding that they're only going to accept something that is high quality. If people are only willing to accept that, the companies will produce something of that quality. So we'll see. Now, the other thing that we are seeing is we're seeing the beginnings of modular multi-tools like the Goat tool and so on. And that is really exciting because everyone's requirements are different. And on top of that, it looks like it's going to be an open source platform. Basically, the frame itself will be made in-house for that company, but individual implements and all of the geometry will be offered to other makers to be able to make those implements for them. So you can have, say, something made in MagnaCut steel as a blade for this particular multi-tool. And that blade maker can make that, and they will enable that. And that's huge. I think a collaborative approach on multi-tools is going to be more beneficial long term. Only time will tell if all of this comes to pass, but that is something that makes me fairly optimistic. Now, if I didn't answer your question in this video today, I did try my best to answer all of them in the previous video. I'll put a link to this playlist down in the description to all 3 Q&A videos. Now, I have some exciting news. I recently got the drill bits that I needed in order to continue my series on modifying the Leatherman Wave. I also have a drill press that I need to test. So we're going to be drilling some Victorinox scissors to fit into the Leatherman Wave. Should be a really cool series. I'm looking forward to continuing it. And just so you know, I will be giving that tool away when I hit 10,000 subscribers. I have decided. So that's going to go when it's done, completely done with an awl and a reamer and all of that. It's going to go up here on the shelf. And when I hit 10K, I'm going to give it away. So thanks again for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Feel free to leave any additional questions, but we're going to kind of end the giveaways for now. And we'll talk again soon.